Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Austin Matthews scored the tie-breaking goal with 6:06 left in the third period, and the Toronto Maple Leafs rallied from an early 2-goal deficit to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3 to take a 3-2 lead in their first-round playoff series. More proof! More proof! What the hell's going on? I watched most of the game. The Lightning are winning, and they have complete control. And then the Leafs wake up at home. And listen, while I find Leafs fans annoying, I don't hate you. I don't. If the Leafs win this series and go on to win the Stanley Cup, Bob's your uncle. But can I pose this to you, Moose, and the viewers?
Yeah.
Let's say the Lightning aren't that hungry anymore, having won 2 straight Stanley Cups. Is there something to be said for that? Because John Cooper said it again last night after the game. He said, we're kind of giving it to them, giving them the game.
It's interesting. You know, there might be something to that. It's so hard to climb that mountain once, let alone twice, and then go back and do it a third time with largely, the same group. There could be something absolutely to that, because you're right. I mean, it was all Tampa in that game, at least for the first 20 minutes and then a little bit into the second before Toronto woke up kind of in that second period. But the starts have been really good and for Tampa. It was the best game of the series. It was the first time we saw a lead change in the series. That had never happened.
I'm not going to,
and then Tampa comes back to tie at 3-3, and you think Leafs are going to just implode again after, coming back. And then Matthews got the goal to win it. It was wild. It was crazy and completely unpredictable after the game that happened a couple of nights ago.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
In Toronto, you talk to any hockey person from Toronto, they'll tell you that they're Leaf fans in that town, not hockey fans, because nobody goes to the Marley games and nobody goes to the junior games. They're Leaf fans. See what I'm saying? In Canada, you say you're a hockey fan, but I think you're an NHL fan. Although I think the crowds are getting better for the junior games, but we're in the frickin' second round of the playoffs. I would hope so. It's a fun debate.
Oh, for sure.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. That is Canada and Canadian sports fans in the United States. It's the RP Show coming at you. Whoa! My computer just fired up. The old YouTube, don't you know? We're coming at you. Why do I feel like we're not ready? I've only been sitting in this chair for 25 minutes. It is episode number 755 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show, live on the Game Plus TV network. And live streaming on YouTube as well, and listen live 24/7 at rodpedersen.com. Let's bring in the co-host from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, which is smack dab in the middle of Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Calgary. Don't you know? And it's Darren Moose Dupont. How you doing, Moose?
I'm doing great. How are you, Rod?
Good. I'm good now. Now that I got everything all sorted out. Coming up on the program today, a couple good friends of ours from TSN, Darren Dreger and Dave Poulin. 2 great guys. One from Timmins, Ontario, one from Langenburg, Saskatchewan. And I got to tell you, they were 2 of the guys that I scoffed at for being Leaf fans, working for TSN, saying that they were going to rough and tumble the Tampa Bay Lightning out of the rink. And lo and behold, tonight, the Lightning are facing elimination against those very same Toronto Maple Leafs. And I heard the intro there the boys rolled. Nice clip, guys, where we said that the Tampa Bay Lightning have lost their hunger. I'm breaking a little bit with tradition here with the quick 6. I'm jumping back to yesterday's show, Moose, because I want to hear from Eastern Canadians. I want to hear from Leaf fans. I know they're not limited to Eastern Canada. What do you got? You're stopping me? What?
I don't think I have your audio. So if the guy's back in the
I can't hear you. You can't hear me. Now I can hear you.
Now. Okay.
Now I can hear you. You can hear me. Okay. So anyways, I want to hear from the Leaf fans. I want to hear from Eastern Canadians about this game tonight and how you're feeling, because there was people writing me on Twitter saying, Rod, don't poke the bear. Don't rile up the Lightning and wake them up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure they're listening to me. They probably are watching this show. by virtue of what I heard last night at FLA Live Arena. Yes, the NHL people are watching, but I'm not sure that Victor Hedman and Andrei Vasilevsky and those guys are. Maybe they are, Moose. I don't know. But I guess the question is, do the Lightning will tonight, and do the Leafs hammer that door shut?
Good question. And it seems like for every one of these games, you get a feeling of which way it's going to go, especially when you watch as much hockey as you and I have in our lifetimes. I don't know. I have a pretty good feeling about the game tonight. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be a Tampa romp like it was a couple of games ago. But there's no question Tampa will be ready to go. I mean, they've started well in just about all of these games. It's a matter of can they finish, and for Toronto, it's the pressure of a game and an opportunity to win a series. And they have never proven the ability to be able to shut the door. So this is a massive test for that group in Toronto.
Big game, can't wait. And just to say a couple things, John Massey writing in from Edmonton, good guy. He says, Rod, let's settle our differences and together troll the Leafs for the rest of the playoffs. I would be down with that for sure. But let's just hang on a little bit. Let's one day at a time, as they say. And if people are chiming in with their comments, everybody's excited. Everybody's all geeked up. Tell your friends that we are on the air right now, live on YouTube and Game Plus TV across all 10 provinces and 31 states. I'm loving the fact that I'm kind of reinventing myself. I got the guys from Pink Drink saying, Rod, can you push more posts about the Pink Drink? I'm like, boys, back off. Everybody knows I'm on the Pink Drink. Everybody knows I lost 60 pounds. Last night at FLA Live Arena, I got people saying, oh, you're GQ. Never seen you wear a suit before. And I'm like, guys, I wore it for how many years, Darren? Decades as a hockey guy. Like they forget it, right? So everybody knows. And the one thing about last night in the press box, talking to my dad's scouting buddies, they were there. I'm not going to name them, but they're introducing me, and they're like, yeah, this guy's dad, his dad, Jimmy, he's a legend. He's a legend back home. How many years with the Stars? I said 26 years with the Stars. And they said, so you're down in South Florida. What made you settle in South Florida? I'm like, everybody's asking. I've been everywhere, Moose, as you know. This is the best place I've ever been. This is where I want to be. End of story. And Calgary's pretty awesome, too, in Alberta. And hey, we actually have some very exciting news coming up with that. But there's the opening preamble and the guests. Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? And like I said, we are we're going to be a little out of order in what we do here today, and that just makes it fun. So we start with this. Carter Verhaeghe set a Florida postseason record with a 5-point night, and the Florida Panthers escaped a 3-goal deficit to beat the Washington Capitals 5-3 and take a 3-2 lead in their series. I can read this story, but let me give you some real stories. When I went and sat down with my guy Thad, and it's all on my Instagram story, the manager of the Beach House, the general manager, and he had Jess with him. She's the one of his managers. They were down 3-0, the Panthers. Went and sat with them. It was 3-3. And I'm like, okay, guys, got to roll. And they're like, wait, aren't you staying for the third? And I'm like, no, I think the Panthers got this one. And they came back and they did this. Bob stopped 30 shots for Florida. Verhaeghe had 2 goals and 3 assists for the Panthers. That broke the Panthers' playoff scoring record that nobody's going to know who had it. It goes back to 1996. I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't expect you to get it, Moose. Ray Shepard said it on April 22nd, 1996. You remember that name?
Yeah, that's a blast from the past.
Right. Abso-Smurfly. And by the way, on that team was Bill Lindsay. I think I was telling you, I was coming out of the press box bathroom. He was going in. I just love him so much. He's the radio guy for the Panthers. He's on NHL Network. And he was on that Panthers team. And I'm like, hey, Billy. And he's like, hey, Roddy. I'm like, how does he know who I am? Although he's been on the show a couple times. He's sharp. He's from Fernie. Yeah. He's got chutzpah and whitefish. Yeah, so that's what happened last night. Enough stories there. In Calgary, Andrew Mangiapane scored the game winner in the third period for the Calgary Flames in a 3-1 win over the Dallas Stars. Flames now up 3-2. Mangiapane and Michael Backlund each had a goal and a helper. Trevor Lewis added an empty netter for the Flames, who pushed the Stars to the brink of elimination now. 3-2 Calgary. Jacob Markstrom had 20 saves for the Flames. Jason Robertson scored the lone goal for Dallas, and Otter stopped 29 shots for Dallas. My take on that, I didn't see the end of the game, but I had a pretty good sense that the Flames were going to win it once they got the lead. Daryl Sutter's added guys that have won cups before. Blake Coleman, Trevor Lewis. They have some grit to go along with what they have. I see Craig Button said that broke the Stars' spirit. That loss last night. What's your take on Calgary's win?
Yeah, and there was a report, and we didn't see it on the TV broadcast, or at least I didn't see it, where in the intermission, that second intermission, Daryl Sutter came out on the bench. There was like 2.5 minutes left still in the intermission. And he came out of the bench and just let the guys do their thing in the room, and he knew they were ready. And one thing about the group in Calgary is they stay patient and they don't get down, even when they're not getting the goal scoring that maybe they're used to. And the game was tight and the shots were even and things were rolling. It was 0-0. But then all of a sudden, that patience paid off and it just continued to roll and snowball in Calgary's favor. And they never looked back. And you're right. I think that was maybe a backbreaker for the Dallas Stars last night.
Yeah, maybe Butts is right. I guess we're going to see Game 6 is Friday. I see my cousin Christine is watching in Medicine Hat. She says, did you enjoy the game last night? You look great. Thank you, Chris. I told you I was going to be dressed like an owner in my blueberry-colored suit and white starched shirt. And I had such a great time. And again, if you go back and look at all my social media, from Twitter to my Instagram, Darren, they killed all the lights and everybody was given these lights. They look like firebugs. I'm like,
that's cool.
I've waited my whole life for this. It's awesome in the Saddle Dome. They had the light show because the playoffs are they're a different thing. They're a different animal. And I think some leagues forget that. The NHL never has. I'm standing there in the press box going, I'm so happy to be here. Yes?
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. I was going to ask you if you, because I know you were at the game with Jeannie Bouchard last night. I don't know if you knew that, but Jeannie was at the game.
Was she there?
In the front row, smacking on the glass. She was there. So I thought that was going to be one of those, I went to the game with Jeannie Bouchard, or was that the game with Jeannie?
I heard that she was stuck up, and now I know it. She didn't even DM me, so it's true. She's stuck up. Moving on. And I see that there's questions coming in here, so we'll get to them. Now it's me and Moose's time in the warm-up. Philip Scheifele. I hope I said that right. Philip Scheifele scored the tie-breaking goal early in the third, and New York staved off elimination with a 5-3 Rangers victory over Pittsburgh in Game 5. Penguin star Sidney Crosby left with about 7 minutes remaining in the second period with what Coach Mike Sullivan said after the game was an upper body injury. It was Jacob Trouba again who folded him over. And Trouba hits a ton, doesn't he? But it's almost like he fell into him. There was no penalty on the play, and there certainly shouldn't be a suspension. How did you feel about the hit on Sidney Crosby?
I was okay with it. Mike Sullivan wasn't okay with it after the game. Did you see his interaction with the reporters?
No.
He asked the reporter said, what did you think of the hit? Did you think there was intent on the hit? And he looked at the reporter and said, did you see it? Reporter goes, yes. He says, well, then I probably have the same opinion that you do. So I think he thought there was intent, but I mean, I don't know if it won't get a suspension. I really don't think so, or a hearing. And I think it's fine. It's just too bad. We hope Sid can play.
Rarely do I ever care to hear what the coaches have to say after the games. You don't ever really hear me talk about what did the coach say, because A, I don't believe what they're saying for the most part, and 2, I watched the game. I can form my own opinions, formulate my own opinions on things. So, yeah, and of course Mike Sullivan's going to be upset. Sidney Crosby left the game, but it was a clean hit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's for the games last night. By the way, the program is brought to you in part by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the preferred Bronco Plumbing and Heating specialist of the RP Show. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. I fire that in there because I know the boys are all watching every day from Bronco, out in their trucks, out servicing everything. They'll just be going, huh? Tell Cam we mentioned him. I said we're going to break with tradition here in the Quick Six. It's not just scores, okay? My second point, Tom Brady has already figured out what he's going to be doing after his playing days are over, as Fox Sports announced Tuesday that he will be the lead NFL analyst for their broadcast team. They announced that Tuesday, but I think the salary just came out Wednesday, didn't it, Moose? Brady's made nearly $500 million U.S. through his long NFL career. The deal he signed with Fox is 10 years, $375 million. Tom Edward Brady is now the highest paid analyst in all of sports, and he's not even an analyst yet. Last I checked, he's coming back to play in 2022. Maybe he'll up that once he actually gets into the booth. This is more Moose than he ever got paid as a player. I think the most he ever made is $25 million a year. With Tampa, this breaks down to $37.5 million per year. I got to tell you, man, being here in South Florida, they love Tom Brady so much. I told you what they were saying on the radio yesterday. Could he own the Dolphins and be on TV? Blah, 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 blah. TV is where it's at, man. That's where it's going. I say good for Tom. I say great for Tom, and I can't wait to see him on Fox.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him on Fox either. I thought, I think it's going to be great. I mean, some people wonder if he's going to be that colorful, have that much personality. He's never really warmed up to the media. I'm like, you've been watching. I think Tom's great. He's got a ton of personality, and now the older he gets, the more we're seeing it, and yeah, he's polarizing and he's intense, but I think if you follow him on social media, he knows how to have fun too. And I think it's going to be tremendously entertaining.
People love the stories, and they want to say that Tom is not great with the media. Well, guess what? Most of the media is annoying. And one night, I did a banquet, I've mentioned it many times, with Daryl Sutter and Brian Sutter in Paradise Hill, Saskatchewan, along with Rachel Holman and Buddy Bensmiller. And Daryl and I stood on the stage and chucked haymakers at each other, to the point where Rachel Holman said, I felt uncomfortable. She said that. But Daryl goes, I think the question came up, why are you the way that you are in news conferences? It might have come from me. And Daryl said, because of the media, I don't care for any of them. I don't care for the media. They waste my time. And I said, yeah, it's like coaches. I don't care for any of them either. They just glared at me. I'm like, well, if you're going to say that about the media, I'm going to say that about the coaches. It's completely unfair to paint all of the media with the same brush, and I don't paint all the coaches with the same brush. And he didn't like it. That's what led to his brother Rich calling me the next day and saying, what did you do to Daryl last night? I said, I don't know. I stood up to him, which nobody ever does. Anyways, moving on. Dub Hub junior hockey stuff. Dylan Genther scored 2 goals and assisted on another to lead the Edmonton Oil Kings to a 4-2 win over Red Deer and a series sweep. Brent Sutter's Red Deer Rebels. You can't throw a stone in Alberta without hitting a Sutter. The victory improves Edmonton's postseason record to 8-0. Winnipeg and Moose Jaw also played Wednesday night, and the Ice beat the Warriors 5-3. They're now up 3-1 and can close it out Friday night in the Ice Cave in Winnipeg. There was one other dub game Wednesday. The Seattle Thunderbirds blanked the Portland Winterhawks 5-0 to get on the board in the series. Seattle now trails 2-1. And in the MJ, the Dauphin Kings defeated the Steinbach Pistons 2-1 in Game 7 of the MJHL Championship Series to capture the Turnbull Memorial Trophy for the first time since 2010. The field's starting to straighten out for the Centennial Cup, and we'll be there. Brooks Bandits, Estevan Bruins, Flin Flon Bombers, Dauphin Kings, and any of you people out in Eastern Canada want to tell me who's coming from Ontario. Thank you, guys. And the Maritime League, tell me, because I'm not really following that. We need to break. When we come back, NHL games tonight. CFL rookie camps open. Charleston Hughes says he made a mistake. The Yankees swept the Blue Jays. We're just getting going here. You're watching the warm-up of the RP show on Game Plus Television, YouTube live streaming, and as always, 24-hour sports radio streaming at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
RP Show continues on this gorgeous Thursday here in South Florida. By the way, for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time all day today with over 120 locations of Taco Time in Canada and the United States. There's always one near you. Again, buy one, get one half off. Burrito full Thursday at Taco Time. On the way, Darren Dreger and Dave Poulin from TSN. The Moose is loose. He's with us. Blue Jays falling in New York yesterday. Gleyber Torres delivered a go-ahead 3-run homer and a 2-run single to lead the Yankees to a 5-3 win over the Blue Jays. Yanks have won 7 straight series to get to a Major League best 22-8. Toronto, meanwhile, has lost 4 in a row, 7 of its last 9. I see the panic. And I only see the panic because I'm not watching the games, Moose. I am up to my eyeballs in Stanley Cup playoffs and loving every minute of it. There's no reason for the Blue Jays fans to panic yet, because it's not even May long weekend yet.
I know it's too early to panic, but at some point you got to understand we want this team to be a first place team. We're expecting them to be a World Series contender. You got to play like it night in and night out, day in and day out. Can't really have a lot of lulls because you'll be left behind pretty quick. But you're right. It is way too early to be in a panicked situation.
Well, it's stretched now to about 10 days since they lost the series in Cleveland, now swept in New York. So it's not about a week. It's not a good thing. I just opened the text line here. Alan Miller. Not that Alan Miller. This guy's from Yorkton. He writes in and says, "What is up with the Jays?" He asks that, and I think it's because they ran into the Yankees, for one. And for two, I've been reading some coverage this morning. I had some extra time on my hands. And the Blue Jays are still referred to as the powerful Toronto Blue Jays. So they'll be heard from in the end, but I think the best they're looking at is a wild card spot. I think we can pencil that in now if the Yankees are the best team in the American League, even the best team in baseball. Alan has found this on Game Plus television, and he has fired a string of text questions to us. So just hang on, Alan. There's a lot of people got into the queue ahead of you. So I answered the Jays question, but there's more. Randy in Winnipeg watching on Game Plus TV, where they carry this wonderful channel on Bell MTS cable. He says, "Good morning, RP Show. Your comeback kids did it again. Nice win by the Panthers to see a sellout crowd in Florida." It was beyond capacity last night in FLA Live Arena. Shh, don't tell the fire marshal. Because the official capacity there is 19,000 and change. I was told there was over 20,000 last night in the facility, and I believe it. And by the way, Randy picked the Panthers to win 5-2. They actually won 5-3. How about that, boys?
That's pretty good.
We'll get to some of these questions here. The poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center with dealerships all across the prairies. The poll question is, who should win the Hart Trophy as NHL MVP? The NHL announced the finalists this morning. It's not a surprise to anybody who they are. They are Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, and Igor Shesterkin, the goalie for the New York Rangers. The other two guys, household names. Shesterkin's not, but he's getting there. And let me have a look here. Austin Matthews is leading the way with 46% of the vote. Austin freaking Matthews. That's why I asked Eastern Canada and the Leafs Nation, if that's what you guys call yourselves, to rise up and vote in the poll today. Austin Matthews leading with 46%. Do you think this will be an Eastern bias thing, a Toronto bias thing, Darren, and that will carry Matthews to winning it all?
No. I mean, I think he's going to win it. I think he deserves to win it. I do. And it's not, yeah, I do. I think, the 60 goals, I think he plays a real 200-foot game. And I think, they had a franchise record for points. There's all these things that go into it. I think he was very good, his best year so far. McDavid, though, there's an argument to be made for all of them, right? I mean, I imagine the voting was really tight.
I'm getting to that CFL stuff, and thanks to everybody for hanging in. This is point 5, NHL tonight. Edmonton star defenseman Darnell Nurse will serve a one-game suspension while his Oilers play the Kings in Los Angeles tonight. Nurse was punished for headbutting Kings forward Philip Deneau late in the second period of the Oilers' 5-4 overtime loss in Game 5. Edmonton enters Game 5 tonight, facing elimination, trailing the Kings 3-2. I can't even think about what will happen if the Edmonton Oilers lose tonight. They weren't supposed to have problems with the Los Angeles Kings, if you remember, Moose. The over-under's been set at 6.5. I actually won a bet last night for the first time with Bet Regal. I don't know if you saw that or not. I threw down some change on the over-under. I took the over in the Caps-Panthers game. It was 6.5, and there were 8 goals scored. Booyah. I don't really know, Moose, the betting lingo like you. So at Bet Regal, it's Oilers minus 140. I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, they're favored to win the game. I don't know. This Oilers team's interesting. Darnell Nurse logs a ton of minutes on the back end, plays so tough defensively, can chip in the offensive zone. It's a big hole to fill. At the end of the day, I really think it's going to be Mike Smith versus Jonathan Quick. And Mike Smith has had some really good games in these playoffs. He's made the blunder. And Jonathan Quick has had a couple of bad games too. But when he's on and it's the old Jonathan Quick magic, LA's got a chance, man.
I think you just nailed it. And what was the game? I'm just hooked on this NHL network. I love the analysts. Brian Lawton, whom I've met once, but he wouldn't remember. Stu Grimson, good friend. Billy Lindsay, who I found out apparently I'm good friends with. They're so good. And they were referring to some other series is a goalie series. I can't remember which one. And I'm like, it was the Dallas-Calgary one. That obviously it is. Those are very low-scoring games, and Daryl talked about that. If it's more than a one-goal spread, it's because it's an empty netter. And I'm with you tonight. I think it comes down for the rest of this series to goaltending. And if you got to put Jonathan Quick up against Mike Smith, I'm going with Quick. But it's a hell of a game tonight. DG in Saskatoon writes in, he says, morning guys, just a bit more on the Tom Brady announcement. A lot of chatter that Fox announced he'll be doing all of the biggest games. So the question is, does that mean he'll do less than 18 weeks in the regular season? He may yield that power and could avoid a Bears-Panthers Week 7 game, for example. Also, Fox has this year's Super Bowl rights. If he's not playing, is he in the booth? Obviously, DG in Saskatoon, those are rhetorical questions. We don't know the answer to that. But this is what I know about the TV networks. They work their people like slaves. And I'm not going to name networks or people, but we've had a lot of them say to us, you guys got it so great, doing whatever you want, going wherever you want. We don't have 10-year, $375 million contract. Or maybe you do, Darren, I don't know. But I mean, some of these guys are being paid $3 to $5 million per year. I guess slaves aren't paid that much, but I'm saying they get their pound of flesh out of them. So I can't see Tom Brady. I can't see Tom Brady doing less than 18 games in a regular season, plus 17 games plus playoffs. There's no way. And by the way, it hasn't even kicked in yet, right? Yeah. So he hasn't even hit the booth yet. So no, I don't necessarily believe that he would be in the booth this year. But who knows? I don't. Nothing surprises me anymore. 2 CFL rookie camps opening. I was talking to Darren on the phone about this morning. Look, Canada's a hockey country, but even in Canada, they don't care about NHL rookie camps. Trust me, I know. They've had them in Kelowna. They've had them in Red Deer. Nobody shows up but the scouts for the most part. So with these rookie camps, I don't know how much time you're spending. I mean, I had a text this morning from my guy Tim, buddy of mine in the sweatpants capital, and he said, Rod, with the latest developments, is there going to be a work stoppage in the CFL? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not following it. That is a fact, because I'm kind of annoyed at what I heard. And I don't know if it was you yesterday, Moose, or this coach that I was talking to that said these owners that are negotiating with the players don't care how much damage is being done to the league brand, how much damage is being done to the relationship to the players. They don't care. And to be honest, I feel bad for the new owners, like Amar Doman in BC, who is very cool. You know what I think of the president in Edmonton, Victor Quay? I'd love to hear from those two, because I feel like the old guard of CFL ownership and presidency are the ones dealing with the players, not the new guard. And it's like, you guys just go over there and stay on your Instagram and Twitter. We'll handle this. So I'm not following much more than that. I'll get into the Charleston Hughes thing in a minute, but have I read that right, Moose, as far as you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's really, I don't think we're really following the rookie camps. We never really do. I'm following a little bit just in terms of the guys I used to watch, or I called all the Canada West games, right? So the Phil Potts and that kind of stuff. I like seeing the tweets that they're on the field, but I'm not following rookie camp position battles and who's making what catches. That doesn't matter. Like, let's get to camp and let's get to the season and hopefully we're getting on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that I will be following main training camp with a whole lot of interest. Rookie camps, forget about it. I mean, the Rider fan viewers know that when I covered that team for 20 years, with the rookie camp, particularly in the internet age, I was doing daily reports, scouting reports at every player, blah, 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 blah. Then I was getting hauled into an office. You said this. You had this wrong. You said, what? I'm just trying to cover the damn team. Now that I don't have to, I'm not going to. So, because I'm eyeballs deep in Stanley Cup playoffs and junior hockey playoffs. And by the way, they're playing. I mean, it's confusing to me. People are saying, how come the rookie camps are open and Dakota Prokop's throwing in the Bombers camp, but he's a veteran, and they're threatening a strike. I don't know. I'm just the wrong guy to ask. Now with Charleston Hughes, this is a very important lesson to learn here, I think. Charleston Hughes coming out on Wednesday and saying that he should have never left the Saskatchewan Roughriders in free agency last year. He went to Toronto for what believed to be, I guess, a little more money. He didn't want to take the pay cut being offered in Saskatchewan. He felt it was an insult. 6-time All-Star defensive end. He's an active player, so he's like the J.J. Watt of the CFL. He didn't want to take a little less money. There was a little bit of ego involved in there. It was a back and forth between the two sides, but they got over it. Now he's back in Saskatchewan. And Darren, I can give you names of players who have left for just a little more money. Corey Sheets left Saskatchewan for the Oakland Raiders in the NFL for $10,000 more. Popped his Achilles on Monday Night Football, never played again. You can see the interview. It aired on this show because I should never have left. Stevie Baggs, same thing. Left for a little more money. He was a star with the Rough Riders, but left for a little more money. Was never the same again. But I think you're the one that said history is the best teacher. These current players can sit down and listen to the Corey Sheetses of the world and the Stevie Baggs of the world until the cows come home. But until it happens to them, they're not going to listen. What do you think?
I do. And, you look at Sheets and Baggs, there's the other side of it, too. If you don't go and take that chance and go to the NFL, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. And you're all like, regret is the worst. So at least, I mean, they maybe have regrets that they should have stayed so they could keep playing, but they went and gave it their shot. So I respect that. And at least they left it out there. But you got to have a lot of self-awareness, too, and understand that maybe you're in exactly the place you're supposed to be, having the success you're supposed to have in the environment you're supposed to be in. You know, you go to a different environment, it doesn't mean you're going to just instantly be able to replicate all that success. So you have to have a tremendous amount of self-awareness, and sometimes a change of scenery, the grass isn't always greener, as they say.
Well put. See you in hour 2, Moose.
See you then.
TSN's Darren Dreger joins us next. That's going to be fantastic as we preview another night in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and if you've missed any portion of the show, you can always check out the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Number 16. A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Promotional consideration for the RP Show brought to you by Tough Tribe for Men. Hair products for men, contains aloe vera, botanicals, and antioxidants, traditionally known for their scalp and hair benefits. We are part of the clean beauty industry. Welcome to the Clean Beauty for Men Club, available today at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4, toughtribeformen.com, and Amazon Canada. As you can see, they're celebrating in the streets here in South Florida. The Panthers have pushed the Capitals to the brink of elimination by virtue of a 5-3 win last night, and tonight Tampa faces elimination. And joining us to talk about the Stanley Cup Playoffs, the great Darren Dreger of TSN, star of the Insider Trading. How you doing today, Dregs?
I'm doing well, not quite as well as you, given the backdrop that you have. I'm still stuck in my home studio here, as you can see, with the bookshelf behind me. So anytime you want to trade, buddy, you just let me know and I'll be on a plane.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you were down here not that long ago and soaking up those NHL GM meetings, and you know how great it is.
Yeah.
But I got to ask you, Dregs, you are up to your eyeballs in the Leafs and Lightning series, and I'm a little shocked the Lightning are on the ropes. You got John Cooper saying, we're giving them the series. That's the quotes that I'm saying. What are you seeing? Because it feels to me like Tampa's lost their hunger after winning the last Cup.
Well, they're making uncharacteristic mistakes, right? And because of that, people are talking about maybe it's just battle fatigue, the fact that this team has played so much hockey over the past 3+ seasons. I don't buy that. You know, I see the disappointment on the face, and I hear the captain, Steven Stamkos, talk about what they have to be better at. Hard to imagine that they can get stronger based on the start of last game, but Toronto just took that game away in the second period and then finished in the third in dramatic fashion with the old pad pass from Mitch Marner to Austin Matthews. So, I mean, I'm sure that John Cooper and Tampa Bay Lightning are saying that they've got to execute better. They've got to be better in all departments. And one thing that we know is you can't give up the goals that Tampa Bay Lightning have given up to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're scoring enough. Offensively, they're generating enough. So maybe they'll just tighten up defensively tonight.
Hey, a little off the board here, although you may be talking about it on SportsCenter. Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Igor Shesterkin up for the Hart. We're running the poll today for Capital Auto Mall, who should win it, and it's Austin Matthews. Our voters are saying the last Leaf to win it, Ted Kennedy, 1955, if I have this right. If Austin wins it, in your mind, will you sleep well? Does he deserve it that much?
I feel that he does. But, man, it's a tight race, isn't it? When you look at everything that Connor McDavid continues to do for the Edmonton Oilers, the case is as strong as any. But, you know, I'm a voter, and I can tell you that the 3 finalists on my ballot I have, and that is Matthews, McDavid, and Igor Shesterkin. I'm not going to disclose in what order. But when John Cooper, who again, we just talked about the amount that the Lightning have won over the last couple of seasons, and Cooper deserves a good amount of the credit, a highly respected coach in the league. As part of his media availability earlier today after the morning skate, he didn't flat out say that Austin Matthews deserves to win the Hart, but he did acknowledge how difficult it is to score 60 goals in the National Hockey League. And for me, that matters, Rod. You know, as creative, as jaw-dropping player as Connor McDavid is, points, all of that I understand. Goals matter more. So I feel like Austin Matthews should probably win.
Outstanding. Well, I tell you, and I just looking up that list, the 1980s, Wayne Gretzky, just bing, 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 bing. Man, sometimes we forget, how awesome this guy. Well, we don't. I just watched Boys on the Bus the other day. My God, Dregs, what a player.
You know, even when we had Rick talking on the Rain Dregs podcast today, which will drop later, and you know, we're talking about just interacting with Gretzky on the TNT panel. Now, granted, Wayne Gretzky and Rick Tocchet have been real close buddies for many, many years, so I don't think that there'd be much that would surprise Toc. But just watching the game and trying to visualize, see the game, these postseason games through the eyes of Wayne Gretzky, it never gets old. It never gets old. And, you know, just to go back to that era, how goals came so freely, how physical the game was. It's a completely different game, but I can envision Wayne Gretzky playing in 2022 and being equally as dominant as he was back then. So it's too bad we'll never get to see that, but we're watching some pretty good talent when you look at Matthews and McDavid and Nate McKinnon and go down the list.
Shoot, he might be better, Dregs. Look at the abuse. I'm watching Boys on the Bus. He's being just mauled, and he still had 200 points this season. Imagine now. Yeah. Anyways, the Flames and the Oilers are getting enough pub. If we get time, we'll get to them. But the Jets, we have a lot of viewers in Winnipeg on Game Plus TV, and it ain't good, Dregs. I know you're the most connected guy in the NHL. I feel you are. What is going on there with that team?
Yeah, a lot. That's fairly obvious. You know, I think Kevin Cheveldayoff is going to have a real rough offseason. And what I mean by that, he's just not going to have an offseason. I mean, they're focused on preparing now for the draft after the draft lottery, and the hockey operations pieces, you know, are working tirelessly in preparation for that. You know, he's acknowledged that Dave Lowry is you know, if he's happy to come back for an interview, he can interview for the job. But I think all of us know Dave Lowry is not getting the job as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets moving forward. You know, the Barry Trotz speculation, Rod, as you know, that's going to be endless until Trotz acknowledges that he is coaching, wants to coach next year, or he's going in a different direction and he's not going back to the homeland of Manitoba. So Barry Trotz is, I'd call it a priority for the Winnipeg Jets. He'd be a priority hire. But if it isn't Barry Trotz for whatever reason, you know, does Pascal Vincent have an opportunity to come back into the Jets organization? He's working, you know, with the Columbus Blue Jackets now. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get an interview. And that's just the front office stuff. We haven't even talked about the possibilities around Mark Scheifele and what's going to happen there. I don't see a Winnipeg Jets lineup next season with Mark Scheifele in it. I just don't. And I thought that before Mark Scheifele came out and said what he said. The tricky part, Rod, is what kind of return can you expect for Mark Scheifele? Excellent contract, terrific hockey player. Are you going to get what you need to make that move? Because it feels like a move that needs to be made.
Well, until he opened his mouth after the last game, I would have maybe traded for him. Now I don't think I would want him on my team with that attitude. The Winnipeg viewers want to know who you think, or no, who you would like to see coach the Winnipeg Jets.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, I know Pascal Vincent is a good coach. He's proven that at the American League level. I know he's an excellent communicator. I don't know Pascal well, so this isn't a buddy promotion by any stretch of the imagination. I like the new guys coming in, Rod. I do. You know, Lane Lambert's name has been out there for a couple of years now. If he doesn't get the job in replacing Barry Trotz. I believe Barry Trotz recommended Lane Lambert, to be the next head coach of the New York Islanders. And somebody needs to take not even a chance, just give him the opportunity, because he is certainly ready. So there's a couple of guys for sure. I mentioned Rick Tocchet earlier on the podcast. I like everything about Rick Tocchet. He reminds me of Rod Brindamore. Just the way he played the game, the old school type of coaching, but there's some new blood that's mixed in with all of that too. He works hard behind the scenes. He leans on video. He breaks down games. I'm sure Talk would have interest in any NHL head coaching job. So there'll be some interesting individuals that the Winnipeg Jets are going to have to consider for sure.
I smiled wryly when you said Lane Lambert, because as Curtis Hunt would call him, Vain Lambert, because he stepped right out of the pages of GQ, as you know. Dregs, we'll let you go. You're a busy guy. Love your stuff. Keep it up, my friend. Enjoy the hockey.
All right. Thanks, Rod.
TSN's Darren Dreger checking in from the Big Smoke. Taco Time viewer takeover is next. We got TSN's Dave Poulin coming up in hour 2. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio streaming at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
11 throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Here we go. We are into it. What I'm talking about is Taco Time Viewer Takeover. Again, it's a burrito full day. Buy one, get one half off at Taco Time. With over 120 locations across Canada and the U.S., there is always one near you. Buy one, get one half off. Burritos only at Taco Time today. It's just me and you for this segment, and then the Moose will be back to kick off hour 2, and we've got TSN's Dave Poulin coming up. I love Poulin. Good guy. He was the most famous person to come out of Timmins, Ontario, until Shania Twain showed up. To the 902 text line, there are quite a few texts have come in there, and I appreciate them. It's interesting because so many new people are finding us all the time. It's like they just discovered the show. It's episode number 755. And what's great about that is all my jokes are new to them. Perfect. The fresh batch of victims every day. But Jim Wagner's been watching for a while. He's in Balgony, and he writes in and he says, great wisdom and insight from the Moose today. Good stuff. Not just another pretty face. Take care, all. I'm not sure what specifically that he was referring to because he dropped a lot of wisdom there earlier. I think it was about the CFL owners. I'm not sure. I'm just passing it along. Wilf Gerhardt watching in Steinbach, Manitoba, where it's officially summer after the Pistons lost last night in Game 7 of the MJ Final to Dauphin. Wilf in Steinbach, Manitoba, texting and he says, Mark Scheifele to Montreal for the number 1 pick and a second or third rounder. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. What do we think about that, Winnipeg?
Spicy.
What do we think about that? Yeah. I don't know. Let me go to the big board here. Let me just look up Scheifele. I'm thinking 1 for 1. Scheifele for the first overall pick. See you later.
I like it.
I didn't get into this as much. He went 7th overall in 2011. Mark Scheifele. The Winnipeg fans would know that. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 full seasons. 642 games. He's not a kid. He's not a kid. You got a proven performer, and maybe he'd be happy in Montreal. I'm trying to tiptoe around the Scheifele thing because I have friends who have worked with him, do work with him, have worked with him. Some are fans. A lot aren't. But last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute of play in hour 1. I'm saying Scheifele for the number 1 overall pick at the most. You're not throwing in a second or third rounder on top of that. Nope. Not after he opened his big yap after game 82 and said what he said. You don't say what he said. Not publicly. Shouldn't have said what he said. From Mental Shingle Guy. Writes that he says, it's a great 1-2 punch. You with NHL coverage and Dupes with CFL coverage. I hope we have some training camp report. And not just riders, CFL. He said the Elks have Cordell Jones in camp. Kind of interested in hearing about all the quarterbacks they have. I know, you do the talking, I do the listening. LOL. No. We'll get into that next hour. And we did talk some CFL earlier on this hour. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this break on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com. Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
In Toronto, you talk to any hockey person from Toronto, they'll tell you that they're Leaf fans in that town, not hockey fans, because nobody goes to the Marley games and nobody goes to the junior games. They're Leaf fans. See what I'm saying? In Canada, you say you're a hockey fan, but I think you're an NHL fan. Although I think the crowds are getting better for the junior games, but we're in the frickin' second round of the playoffs. I would hope so. It's a fun debate.
Oh, for sure.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Moose. Oh, boy, they're going to kill me. They're going to want to kill me. It's hour 2 of the RP Show, everybody. We're coming at you live from South Florida. The Moose is in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And we're going to get through this. But, Darren, let's bring him in. Did you see what happened? Do you know what happened?
No. What did you do?
This one's all on me. Near the end of hour 1, I went to go to the bathroom, and I kicked my camera and knocked myself off the air with the camera, that the expensive one that you bought. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
No. And I know that you, and I can. Yeah, I don't think Jordan's laughing. I think Jordan is not thinking about going and rounding up girls and booze. He's he says he's fine. This is all on. It's all on me. It's on me. I kicked the camera, trying to run to the bathroom. And how does it look off the laptop? The guys are telling me that it looks okay. He's fiddling around. From what I can see, the trees look great. I don't know.
The trees look good. The trees look good. It looks okay. You sound great. So let's roll. We're good.
Yeah, the mic has not changed. So I'm trying to move some lighting up here. What have I told you guys a million times? I'm not the visual guy. I'm the sound guy. I'm the content guy. So I know the people that are watching or listening on the podcast right now, they aren't even watching this. They're like, what the heck are these guys talking about? But that's okay. That's fine. I apologize, Jordan. 755 shows, and it's not the first time I've kicked the camera. It's the first time I did it with inside 30 seconds to go before we went to air. Right? I don't even know where to look. So, how do you like us so far? Did you watch the end of hour one, by the way, when we got into the Taco Time viewer takeover with some of the comments there?
No, I ended up taking a call and making a coffee.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll get to that. This really doesn't look that bad, except for the headroom thing. Something I can do about that? I think they're going to fix it. They said, Darren, you're going to talk. You're going to talk, Darren. So a couple things. I'm going to throw him some stuff. Darren's going to talk, and they're going to fix this, Moose, okay? Number one,
okay.
What would you give up if you were an NHL team for Mark Scheifele, okay? The talk, because Dreger came on and said he's not going to be back. John Ohm, watching in Winnipeg, says, John Ohm says number 55 needs to shut his mouth full with Taco Time and shut up, bro. So Wilf in Steinbach, Manitoba says the first overall pick and a second or a third for Scheifele. There's that. Number two, Metal Shingle guy's listening, and he says that he would prefer I'd stick to the NHL coverage and you stick to CFL training camp coverage, rookie camp and training camp coverage. That's on you. And then anything else while Jordan fixes that. Go.
How about I don't stick to the coverage of football? No, I love football. Love it. I'll cover some football. I don't know how much I'm going to be paying attention to training camps. I'm not in Saskatoon, as you know, and I'm moving around all the time too. So that's going to be a little bit difficult. But the Mark Scheifele thing is interesting, Rod. With Scheifele, I mean, he's a great player. And at one time, we thought the culture was fine in Winnipeg. They were winning. They were winning in playoffs, and they were, advancing, and they were contending. Mark Scheifele has some value. So just because things have worn out in Winnipeg and he's become a me guy doesn't mean that has to be the case everywhere. You can find the right fit. It's not going to be the first overall pick. You're not going to get a top 10 draft pick in this year's draft. But you might get a first-round pick. You might get a couple first-rounders and a young prospect who can play. I would think it's probably a first, a second, and a young prospect will get you Mark Scheifele. I think that would probably be what Winnipeg can expect because
wow,
Winnipeg doesn't have the leverage right now. They don't have the leverage because he said he's not happy. They've said they're going to move him. So who has the power?
Well, yeah, but do you feel like that's what Dreger and I talked about, that the Jets had more leverage until Scheifele came out and started spilling his guts? That's right. If I didn't know what kind of guy Scheifele was, and by the way, it's not like he's a terrible guy. He's a me guy, and it's a lot more of that generation. And I'm kind of sitting there, the more older I get, going, we should have been maybe more like that. You know what I mean? Instead of what we are. So I don't know. I'm just saying I think he had a lot more marketability until he said what he said. He shouldn't have said what he said. Fastest pit crew in the business. Thank you guys at IKS, Jordan and Ryan. Yep, thank you. Jason and Red Deer writes in and says, crystal clear now, Rod. From BW, he says that yellow shirt stands out like mellow yellow. Do they still sell that? Mellow yellow, the pop?
I don't know. I think they might.
Did you ever have some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the song and the commercials.
They call me mellow yellow. Yeah. Wayne in Victoria, BC says it looks warm and beautiful, Rod. Well, hey, Wayne, I appreciate that. And Wayne is of the older demographic. If I may, Wayne, I think 55 plus. I'm not sure if he's on Instagram or not, but go have a look at my Instagram at Rod Pedersen Official. I was down at the Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club this morning. That is a fact. And you've seen it, Darren. If you want to know how beautiful it is down here, it's about 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. I was talking to a coach in Texas yesterday, and he was saying how hot it was where he was. And I'm like, bro. But I like the humidity. I do.
Yeah.
From Nathan on YouTube watching. Let's turn it over to the viewers. Moose, what say you? He says, not sure if this was mentioned, but when is John Frenzy's comeback debut? Nathan, It's over. It's over. You have to move on. Dick Irvin's not coming back. Don Cherry's not coming back. John Frenzy's not coming back. He's retired. You got to go maybe read my commentary today at rodpedersen.com. It's the top item running, or listen to it on Cat Country or Rock 98.5, where I talked about Moose. I'm sure you read it. The benefits of living one day at a time, living life to its fullest every single day, enjoying each day to its fullest, and number 3, not living in the past. Not living in the past. Folks, you got to move on. John Frenzy's retired. He's not coming back. So there's that. Wayne also says, by the way, well, just think. Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, if I'm the New Jersey Devils, I'm sending Pavel Zacha, Akira Schmidt, or Nico Dawes, and the number 2 pick in the draft for Scheifele and Connor Hellebuck. I don't think Connor Hellebuck's going anywhere, and I'm somewhat loath to talk about the Jets because they couldn't even get their act together to get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. We should be talking about the games tonight because there's 4 teams facing elimination. But can we just say this, Darren? The problems with the Winnipeg Jets run far deeper than I think anybody really knew, other than certain media insiders, and you wonder why they weren't reporting it, but that's a story for another time. Big problems in Winnipeg.
Yeah, there is big problems in Winnipeg. And for Ryan McCarthy, that trade, it was, player A, B, C, or Dawes, and the second one. No. It's A and B and C and Dawes and the number 2 overall pick to get those 2 guys. You're talking about young players who haven't developed into household names and stars yet for 2 players who have. But you're right. But I want to give Winnipeg hope here, Rod, because the problems are really deep. And they are, and they're not good. And the more we hear, the worse it gets. But the fix isn't that bad because you have assets here. And if you split them up and there's value for Mark Scheifele, there's value for all these players, you can turn this around really quickly. You get the right coach in, you can get some real good assets really quickly. This doesn't have to be long and painful, but it is going to be a little painful.
I think it already is painful. Missing the playoffs is painful. But, man, we spent all told, a span 3 months in Calgary, and it was wonderful. And we learned so much with that. And with the addition of one guy, Daryl Sutter, look what's changed. They win a division pennant. Looks like they're going to move on to round 2. And what was the problem in Calgary for years and years and years? Culture. And again, there's so much that goes on that nobody knows. And I know intimately what was the problem with the Calgary Flames. And Darren was part of enough conversations in the past 3 months. You were sitting around that you now know what the problem was with the Calgary Flames. And what did the people say connected to that team? It's getting better. It's getting better. That's not a problem anymore. Yeah. But you don't fix culture overnight. But with one subtraction of one big negative and the addition of one big positive in Darryl, voila, you have what you have. That's not to say that Calgary Flames don't necessarily have their problems. Every team has problems. It's a family. Families have problems, right? It's a corporation. Corporations have problems. Newsflash: the Edmonton Oilers have problems. It's just, right. But the thing with Winnipeg, there's so many coaches out there, Darren. There are so many big name coaches. Obviously, Barry Trotz is being talked about a lot. Dauphin guy, and who knows where Chevy's leaning. Lowry, we've learned, is out. Was that breaking news today? Did we know that? I didn't know that Dave Lowry is out. But Dreger said that.
Yeah. No, the last we heard, he was going to get interviewed, right? And he was going to at least been given a shot. But I don't know if we thought he was really going to be a serious contender. Now we learn that he is out.
Yeah. And by the way, somebody wrote in yesterday. I was thinking about this driving home from Sunrise last night. The beautiful summer air. Somebody wrote in, there's a guy from Winnipeg, he said, is Andrew Brunette the coach of the Panthers, in trouble, the interim coach of the Panthers, if they don't win this series. And I'm like, I should have answered at the time, but that's the part of tap dancing live on air, answering viewer questions. I would prefer some time to think about some of these questions, but we don't have that luxury because it's live television. Andrew Burnett is in the middle of a live audition as the head coach of the Florida Panthers. If they have a great spring run, he gets the job. If they don't, he doesn't. It's that simple. I would like to see Joel Quenneville back on the bench of the Florida Panthers. That's just me personally. I've never met the man, but I think he's that good of a coach. And I know guys that know him that all sing his praises. And I just felt that Joel Quenneville fit this franchise like a glove. I don't know if that's going to happen. Would you, Darren, if you were hiring a coach for next season, would you hire Joel Quenneville? Would you apply for reinstatement of him to coach your team?
Probably not yet. I think, you talk about the 24-hour news cycle, and in the world of sports, it's probably a 365 news cycle and something like this. So it's probably a little bit too raw, but I'm probably looking at him for a year from now. Like, I think that Joel Quenneville was in a tough spot and made a bad decision. But I think, when you talk to the guy, which we haven't done yet, he probably made it for the right reasons. And, I don't think his integrity or the man he is really been tarnished as much. I think he took responsibility for it. So I think there's a lot of paths here back to Joel Quenneville in the National Hockey League. But he has to apply for reinstatement. You don't need that distraction yet. I think he's got to take care of that first before we'd consider him. Probably not this next year, but the year after, he could be back in the league.
It's a good time to drop in this point from viewer Phyllis, who says you can refer to the past to see what happened back then, just for reference. But I agree, Rod, that looking forward is the right idea. So with Quenneville, he made a bad decision when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks. Should he pay for it for his career for the rest of his life? Some people would have that he should. That's the one reason why I'm sitting on this camera right now hosting this show. People have said to me, oh, the business has changed, the game has changed, you got to be so careful what you say now in our role. And I'm like, oh, but I'm not careful what I say. I don't want to have to worry about that because we're not affected by outside sources, but the teams are. Yeah. So I just think if you have a lapse in judgment, your career should end forever. Again, there are those that think that it should. And I pray for them that they never find themselves in the situation that people that have been exiled face or blackballed. You know what I mean? Because they would sing a different tune.
I know exactly what you mean. And you would never know, and you can never make that decision on a guy unless you sit down and talk to him. Because mistakes happen. Is he a guy moving forward? Talking about moving forward, has he changed? Has he learned from it, grown? And you would learn that in an interview pretty quickly.
Within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Would you ever, I look at Babcock. Love me some Babs. Known him for a long time. You would know within 5 minutes. We've had him on this show. I mean, what did Babs say when he was on? He's like, I have people that'll vouch for me. I think he basically said, my kids love me. Or something like that. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But he didn't say that he would change anything. Yeah. And some of us that have been banished, I wouldn't change one GD thing. Not one. With my exit from my last employer. Not one thing would I change. Right? So, yeah. Do you want Mike Babcock to coach your team? I would. And it's like Matthew Barnaby said, yes, Mike Commodore's got a problem with Babs, but he didn't do anything to me. I don't have a problem with him, right? So, yeah. Babcock, Trotz, Quenneville, Tortorella, who clearly wouldn't go there. Maybe James Patrick. I think he shot that down. There's a lot of delicious choices out there. But let's talk about tonight's games when we come back and whatever else the viewers want to talk about. We are days away from the opening of CFL training camps. They are in rookie camps now. We can talk about that if that tickles your fancy. Send us a note. We're at 902-518-3033. Would love to hear from you today. We could talk about Tom Brady. Going to make more as a broadcaster than he ever did as a player. And he's the greatest player ever. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
It's the RP Show. It is a Thursday, and for the love of burritos, it's buy one, get one burrito half off at Taco Time every Thursday. All day today. They got over 120 locations across Canada. We've got the Moose with us, Darren Moose DuPont, Dave Poulin on the way. What a great day to be talking hockey. 4 games tonight, 4 teams face elimination. The Bruins, the Wild, which I didn't think they would. The Lightning, of course, we're all excited about that one, and the Edmonton Oilers. Just before we go into tonight's games, speaking of Edmonton, have you seen the clip going around of Jones from day one of rookie camp in Edmonton yesterday? Did you see this one? Can I imitate it for you? It's like
yes, please.
7 seconds long, and all the Edmonton staff are liking. I gave it a retweet. Jones is standing there, meeting with the media at the end of the day, rookie camp yesterday. one of the reporters, it's a scrum. You know the look, right? He's got his shades on. And a reporter says, well, I was going to ask you. The reporter wasn't laughing. I am. I was going to ask you about the tweet that went out. Jones goes, the what? The tweet. Jones goes, a tweet. And then it's cut off. That was the whole clip. What? A tweet.
Tweet.
He's never going to change.
No.
Maybe don't.
And we don't want him to change.
I was going to. No. I don't want to interview him either. Like, again, why I love Jones, man. I do. But that reminds me of the guys that are going into the Plaza of Honor, like Dressler. What do you think he thinks about Chris Jones? Or what do you think he thinks about a lot of things that went down with his exit of Ryderville? He hates Jones. A lot of those guys hate Jones. Durant hates Jones. They're still my friends. You know what I mean? Like, that's the interesting... I've never worked outside sports and entertainment, so I don't know if it's like that out in the real world, but it's got to be. Like, people tell me that it's much more of a spit show in this business than it is out in the real world. I don't know. I've never been in the real... For 3 months, I worked at a hotel. I wanted to slit my wrists every day. I hated it. So these little pods and relationship things, that's life, right? Doesn't that happen if you get fired as a bellman of the hotel? Or are you going to hate the manager because you're the pool boy? How does it work?
I know. I think you always have the resentment when it doesn't end well and, hate certain people in. Yeah. You understand it probably later, but at the time and for a long while after it happens, you never feel good about it or like.
No, but you got to get over it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with being a recovery coach. What's the definition of recovery? Restoring something to its original state. Get over it.
Yeah.
And back to the comment from the viewer last time. You can think about the past. Don't live there. And so speaking of that, by the way, I'm going to put you on the spot because it's fun. I love doing it. Mr. Leaf fan. Who's the last Toronto Maple Leaf? Who is the last Toronto Maple Leaf to win the Hart Trophy as NHL MVP?
Oh, boy, because it hasn't happened in a long time. Dave Keon?
Before that, I still wonder why this team has fans. Like, I get if you are from the 6, you don't have a choice. I get it. You have to. But you and Clark have... I just don't get it, man. I'm not going to tell you because you'll never get it. 1955, Ted Kennedy. My dad was in grade 10. My dad. John Lynch was in grade 10 the last time a Leaf won the MVP of the NHL. And it was Ted Kennedy, the politician. Look it up.
I know.
Teeter. Good old Teeter. And before that, 1944, Babe Pratt. Wasn't that the movie about a pig? Babe? Babe Pratt in 1944 was the last Leaf before him. So for all of these guys, there's only been 2 Leafs ever. Babe Pratt and Ted Kennedy. How does this team have fans? And by the way, Wayne Gretzky won the MVP, the Hart, in 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89. Wayne Gretzky. Dog. Unbelievable, eh?
Isn't that crazy? Like, that's so wild. Like, that you have a team that's won as many cups even in those times as the Leafs did, even with less teams and stuff. And in a 6-team league, Rod, winning all those cups and only having 2 MVPs? Like, it's crazy.
I know. And by the way, I'm going to throw in a sports update. I didn't do one last hour. The Leafs will attempt to finish off the Lightning in Tampa tonight in Game 6. The Leafs haven't won a playoff series since 2004. The Oilers will try to stave off elimination in their series with the Kings as they play Game 6 in L.A. Oilers going to be without star defenseman Darnell Nurse, who's out for one game for a headbutt on Philip Deneau. Elsewhere tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes in Boston looking to finish off the Bruins. They got a 3-2 lead, and the Blues will have a chance to eliminate Minnesota. They've got a 3-2 series lead. In the NBA playoffs tonight, the Miami Heat are in Philadelphia looking to reach the Eastern Conference Finals with a win in Game 6. And the Dallas Mavericks will host the Phoenix Suns, trying to stave off elimination and force a Game 7. Blue Jays have a day off today. They'll resume activity on Friday for the first of 3 games against the Rays in Tampa. Jays have struggled of late, dropping 4 in a row and 7 of their last 9. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the tap, brewhouse, and drive-through liquor store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. I think people could talk about these matchups all day long. What do you hope to see tonight in the Toronto-Tampa game? Clearly, you don't want to see it going back to Toronto for a 7th game.
No, I don't. Not as a Leaf fan. I don't want to see it going back to Toronto. I don't. This team's psyche is not there to do that. I mean, they go to Game 7, it's over. It's a blowout in Game 7, even at home, right? So tonight, especially if it's a hard-fought tight game, Leafs got to win tonight. Normally, even being a fan, I would want to see as many series go to 7 games as possible. So if the Oilers were up, I would want to see LA win, go to 7 games. But yeah, I hope Toronto can finish it tonight. They need a better start, though. I think if they go down again early, it's so tough. They came back a couple nights ago, but they got to have a better start. They only had 4 shots in the whole first period, so they got to be better off the get-go.
To the viewers, Craig Campbell watching from the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. He says, Teeter and Babe, both members of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Well, I would hope so. And thank you, Craig, for watching and chiming in with that. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you wonder why they and Montreal hate each other so much. It was really just the two. Toronto could never win because it was Montreal winning it all the time. You know, there's something about that I just love the Habs for that. From T. Will, watching on YouTube, says, so everyone knows this is definitely going 7, right? From T. Will. I feel like it is. Don't you?
I don't. My guts, your gut's never wrong. Mine rarely is either, but I don't. I have a feeling that it's not. Like going into game, 5? I didn't think the Leafs had a chance. I kind of envisioned that happening, and it happened, the blowout. I mean, I didn't think it was going to happen like that, but I didn't feel good. And I feel better about tonight's game. I really do.
From BW watching in Edmonton says, I wonder what Bob Stauffer thinks about the 1-game suspension. He's the Oilers color commentator. Why don't you ask him? He's saying we should get Bob Stauffer on to get his opinion. He's telling Clark, tweet at him, BW. This isn't the Bob Stauffer show. He has his own show. It airs after ours. T. Will, also on YouTube, says, is this where everyone likes to hang out before Winnipeg Sports Talk? Yes, it is. And by the way, T. Will, you missed last hour when Darren Dreger was on and we talked about the Jets and who Mark Scheifele should be traded for and what he should get. And if I got you right, Moose, I've never been an NHL GM and I haven't known you past 2015 before, but I don't think you were ever an NHL GM, were you? Like, I'm not sure we're qualified to say what Mark Scheifele should command, but I don't think it should be any more than a first-round pick. I'm not even sure that might even be high, a first-round pick. What are you saying, a first-rounder, a prospect, and a later-round pick?
Yeah, that's probably what I think it will be. I think Jets fans think it should be the first overall pick or it should be multiple first-round picks. Based on his talent and his age, it's probably he's deserving of a lot more. But because the Jets have lost the leverage here, you've got a disgruntled player who doesn't want to be there, who hasn't been a good guy for your locker room, but he's a very high-end guy. Now that the teams that are making offers to get the Scheifele they have the leverage. So he's not going to get maybe what he's worth. But he's still going to get a pretty good package back.
Yeah, he's gone. Dreger predicted, there's the meme, Moose. Mark Scheifele's days are done in Winnipeg. From Darren Dreger. Robin watching in Prince Albert in the Gateway to the North. He says, my gut's always wrong after I eat a taco, but not from taco time. File it. Not the best of the week, but it's not bad. Larry Dye in Medicine Hat was last week's winner of the Taco Time $50 gift card. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He says, I'm joining late this morning, out making another $1 million deal. On my way home, dropped into McMahon and saw the rookies practice. All I can say is I hope you all did some good scouting. He's referring to fans of all the other CFL teams. We didn't talk a whole lot of the CFL, obviously. What I said earlier was NHL rookie camps don't get coverage in Canada, and it's a hockey-first country in Canada. NHL rookie camps, nobody cares about. CFL rookie camps, I would suggest even less. Has anything happened, by the way, in the last month, Darren, that would make you change your opinion on your predictions for the CFL West and East?
No. And I mean, it won't change, and it won't really happen until we see them on the field for week 1 or week 2. I mean, and even then, it'll take a couple of weeks to figure out who's who.
Yeah, we addressed the Charleston Hughes return to Ryderville last hour, and we talked about the labor stoppage, but it's annoying to me when people start texting me and saying, is there going to be a strike? Judging by what I read, there's going to be a strike. I'm like, I don't know. They got to figure it out on their own. Like, honestly, man, I am the wrong guy to ask. Because from everything I hear, it's just bargaining, it's just conjecture, this is all part of it. Well, wake me up when they're on the field. Yeah. Moose, can I get you back here for overtime?
I'll be here.
Outstanding. Dave Poulin joins us next. Flyers and Bruins great. Get some questions for him ready. And then for overtime, if you got something burning on your mind, send it in now. 902-518-3033 is the number to text us right in studio or in the YouTube chat. We'll continue the Stanley Cup playoff talk when we return. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, live streaming on YouTube daily, and 24-hour sports radio streaming audio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
As you see, the celebration continues in South Florida after the Panthers' big 5-3 victory last night over the Washington Capitals, and they got the Caps on the brink of elimination Friday night in the district. The Panthers will look to win and move on to round 2. If not, there's a Game 7 Sunday. Lightning on the ropes tonight, and I'm excited to chat with Dave Poulin, TSN's Dave Poulin, pride of Timmins, Ontario, Flyers and Bruins great, and it's a major thrill, Poulin, to have you on because I watch you every single day. I love it. But I got to tell you this. When you picked the Leafs to win this series, did you know that the Lightning were going to wilt to the degree that they are? And I'm just using their coach's words, John Cooper, saying we're giving them the series. Man, did you see this coming?
I did not pick the Leafs to win the series, Rod. That would have been the two guys sitting at the desk with me. That would have been Dreger and Jeff O'Neill both who picked the Leafs. I actually picked Tampa to go to the finals against the Calgary Flames. So I love Coop. Coop is great. And as a midget coach, actually, was on the staff of the Dave Poulin Hockey School at the University of Notre Dame. And he was coaching, I believe, Bell Tire midgets in the Detroit area. And wasn't the only current NHL coach on the staff. Donnie Granato was also the other? Part of the group. So Donnie Granato.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey,
yeah, we had a group
Notre
back
Dame.
then. We had a young group.
How did these Notre Dame connections always come up? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, John Cooper graduated Notre Dame, same class as my brother, 1986. So I'm reeling right now. But anyways, continue, Pooley. Sorry.
No, he, the other Notre Dame, exactly, in Wilcox. But it's interesting to watch this series, from the seat we're sitting in. And in many ways, if you compare the core 4+1, if you would call it that, in Toronto, and I'm adding Morgan Riley to the 4 forwards, and the core 4+1 in Tampa, and I would add Vasilevsky to their core 4 of Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, and Point, you can see a lot of similarities. They went through a lot of things. They went to the finals. They were upset. They won playoff rounds, all high draft picks, highly heralded draft picks. But they got it done. Now it's simply up to the Leafs to get it done. And there's nothing left to do. They can talk about what they've learned and what they've been through in the past and all those things. That's fine. Now they got to win a hockey game. And they get 2 chances at that, and sometimes that's dangerous. But Tampa's going to give them everything they can handle tonight. I think this goes 7.
I was going to ask you that. Like, the stat is what? Vasilevsky 15-0 coming off a loss. It seems fitting that this would go 7, don't you think?
I really do. It's up to 16-0. We keep updating that board. Some boards keep on giving, and that's one that does for our Cairo guys. They don't have to change very much, just one digit on it, and they've got their work done for the day. And, you know, in many ways, it's the guy at the other end. It's Jack Campbell who's answered the bell in this series. There were so many questions. In the game he got pulled in, Rod, when the coach thought it necessary to go down and have a lengthy conversation with him in front of everyone in the building, and which the TV cameras picked up even though it was on break, and, you know, came right back with it after. So unusual. And yet the coach thought the goalie needed that. And the goalie did need that. But the goalies responded in a big way, and Campbell won that last game for them at probably 3 or 4 critical junctures. I thought it was late in the game on the Kucherov save. Steven Stamkos thought it was early in the game on the 5-on-3 opportunities that they had to make it 3-0. So, but we both thought the same thing, that Campbell had been maybe more of a significant factor in that game than he even got credit for.
Yeah, well, I got to ask you, and I don't mind spending all the time on this series because it's what we're all going to be watching tonight. But like, do people
There's
understand?
so many great series, though.
No, okay, I'm sorry, but just I'm sorry. Well, maybe we'll go long. John Cooper is a Wall Street stock trading certified stock. Like, he's speaking at a higher level than most people. So I just wonder what you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure people are getting what he's putting out there. The gamesmanship from him has been as entertaining to me as the games.
It really has. He's a bright guy, but I think the most important thing is how well he knows the personnel in that locker room and what's required from him in the various situations. And I think a lot of people think he's talking to the Leafs. I don't. I think he's talking to his own guy. I really do. Yeah. And when he says that about giving it to them, he's not talking to the Leafs. He's talking to his own guys. And he's challenging his own guys in a way that they know they're capable of being challenged at 31 years old or 32 years old, if you're Hedman or Stamkos, or, you know, a younger guy like Braden Point, who will accept the challenge in the way that he does. But, you know, I voted for Coop a couple of times for Coach of the Year when no one else did. And because of exactly what you're talking about, because I think in hockey, we call that position the wrong name. I think you're the manager. I think baseball calls it correctly, because Coop isn't talking about, you know, where the right winger is standing on the power play. He's talking about the mentality of the game and how he needs to message his own guys, even at this stage, for what he feels is necessary to go on for an unprecedented, in recent years, three-peat.
So the other big game, well, there's all big games tonight, 4 in all, but the Oilers face elimination in L.A. I didn't see that coming. How did we get to this?
I didn't see it coming either. You know, I've watched the LA situation closely because I had some good friends in the organization, and that's what you do. And I thought they were a little bit away yet. And even when they signed Danault, and I knew the person that had pushed hard for that, I thought it was too early. I didn't think they were ready. But if you think about it, none of the draft picks from their last 3 years are playing even, and they've picked high. You know, Byfield, well, they're playing, but they're not playing a significant role. Kupari aren't playing the type of role they will be playing. And, you know, normally you get that injection of a young kid like a Matthews, who is second year in the league or first year in the league, as an instant impact. That hasn't been the case. And Danault has been a huge part of this whole construction because it takes so much heat off of Kopitar. And that's just, and it takes heat off of Kempe as well. And I think the focus that he has drawn was spelled out in the Darnell Nurse hit, and how frustrated Edmonton is with Philippe Danault. And, you know, it was a costly play by Darnell Nurse, and they're going to miss his 22 minutes tonight and the role that he plays. But I think that was a frustration at how well Danault has spiritedly led that LA team. The other thing they have, Rod, they have that thread, that championship thread. And while the thread's a little threadbare, you've still got the goaltender in Jonathan Quick. You've still got Dustin Brown. You've still got Anze Kopitar from those teams. If they had Drew Doughty, it would be even more of a factor. But those guys, they won cups, and they've still got that thread.
Absolutely. And hey, let's spend a minute on the Panthers and Capitals for a couple of reasons. I was 3 months in Calgary doing my show there from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Amazing. Flames were like, it's nip and tuck, Rod, to get you into the press box. God bless them, they did. I come down to Florida where they say, nobody talks about us down here. Thanks for the coverage. I go to the game last night. Still tons of empty seats in the press box. Canadians wouldn't believe it, man, with the best team in the NHL the regular season. But it's a thing. What do you think about the Panthers being the comeback Cats and their chances of going all the way?
Well, I believe that was 30 times last night was the 30th time they've come back to win a hockey game, which is staggering. But then it feeds upon itself, and it's no big deal. You're down by a couple, and you've already done it. You've done it. I think 5 was the biggest number they came back from, which is crazy. But they get down by a couple, and they have full confidence. And, a lot of the credit has to go to that guy behind the bench because Andrew Brunette is untested in these waters. And, took over a really challenging situation, replacing the legendary Joel Quenneville in extreme circumstances. Had never coached, been a head coach, never stood behind an NHL bench when everyone was looking at him for the next decision. And he's made some good ones. And it's a confident group. It's a deep group. I think Ekblad's getting his legs under him a little bit, which could be scary. The variable known as Bobrovsky has been the good Bobrovsky. And so they've been through a couple of moments when, if Hathaway scores that empty net goal, we're having a different conversation right now, but he doesn't. And you need a couple of moments like that in a series where you get such an incredible break from something the other team does or doesn't do, and you take advantage of it. And that's what Florida got in that game. Reinhart comes back and ties it up, and all of a sudden it's a series. And then in game 5, down 3-0, they're like, well, we're not even supposed to be here right now, so let's just keep playing.
Yeah, I thought the comeback thing would bite him in the playoffs, and it hasn't so far. So it's been a heck of a lot of fun to watch. Dave, big fan, as you know. Keep it up, enjoy the games, and hope we can do it later this spring.
Thanks, Rod. Enjoy the hockey.
Absolutely. Thank you. TSN's Dave Poulin joining us from the Big Smoke. We'll be back with Overtime as Moose rejoins, and we'll get to all of your questions for Taco Time and the Four Seasons Sports Palace. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live streaming on YouTube daily, and you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
One last time, it's overtime. You're home for the Stanley Cup Playoffs and the UFC, the Four Seasons Sports Palace, 909 Arcola Avenue East in Canada's Queen City, and also brought to you by Taco Time, the viewer takeover portion, as we welcome the Moose back in here, and everybody's predicting, Moose, that it will go to a Game 7 in the Leafs Lightning. So it would be Saturday night, hey? Do you think you could take it? Could you handle it?
No, I couldn't. I don't make me do it, okay?
Yeah, well, tonight's going to be a lot of fun. 7 p.m. Eastern with the face-off. I believe maybe 7:30. Doesn't matter. We're going to be watching it no matter what. By the way, we didn't talk about this earlier. We have to now. If people will forgive me, and you will understand why I'm saying this, you have to go to our Instagram story at The Rod Pedersen Show and watch it from last night's Panthers-Capitals game, because it's the close-up shots. And I'm going to tell you that if Jenny Kuznetsov and I had a namaste moment. We did? Do you want to explain?
Yeah. I mean, you were in the suicide box, the area right between the benches, literally like this far from the ice, and the players. And that's how we get closer to the action. We're always, build these relationships to get the access. And you were filming, and he looked at you, and you said that he smiled at you, and you guys had this exchange, and it was probably like 2 seconds, and it probably felt like 2 minutes.
No, it was like 2 seconds, and it felt like 0.2 seconds, but I had my phone out. You see how I do. And Kuznetsov stretching on, he looked up at me and gave me a little smile, and I smiled, and then we looked away because it was awkward like that. You know what I mean? But it was the light in me recognizes the light in you of Jenny. And I'm sure he remembered that I called his games in the 2012 World Juniors when he was with Russia and I was with Team Canada. He would have, that must have been what he was thinking at that moment.
Of course.
T. Will, watching on YouTube, writes that he says, Ted Lasso, cheers for the Leafs. Yes. Don't ask. We've been over this.
You gotta believe.
You get sucked into the Hockey Night in Canada hype. That's what it is. See, what did I say? We're introducing ourselves to viewers. It's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing.
Nope.
You walked into a party, and you're going around the room, shaking hands with everybody. It's just that the party never ends. Is that the parallel that we have here? Okay.
Yeah.
Moose, speaking of Toronto, Drew Campbell is watching on Game Plus TV, where we're carried on Rogers Cable in Toronto. I want to hear from more Eastern Canadians. I do. Drew's one of them. He writes in and he says, I don't think Habs fans would accept Mark Scheifele, even if it was in return for future considerations. The wound is still fresh from the Evans hit last year. I get it, man. I get it. It's like when we had Jamie McCowan on the show. People still remember him breaking, was it Babbitt's ribs in the 80s? We had people from Winnipeg writing and saying, don't ever have McCowan on again. He did this in the 80s. I'm like, oh my God, really? How do you feel about that comment?
People hold grudges for a long, long time. You got to get over it. You have to find a way to move on. Now, Can Mark Scheifele go to Montreal? I don't know if that locker room can welcome him in or how many pieces are still left. There's been a lot of turnover, and there's going to continue to be more turnover in that Montreal Canadiens locker room. So just because this happened and the fan base remembers, he could have a home anywhere. It's just all about the right fit.
Yeah, what a year to win the lottery. And again, I guess if we have viewers in Toronto, we probably have viewers in Kingston, and I don't want to upset anybody. But I'll say this again about Shane Wright. I'm sure he's a hell of a hockey player. He's the best player in this year's class. Like, he's posted a wire-to-wire Central Scouting Bureau ranking #1 prospect for the last couple of years. But Bedard was better than him in the World Juniors this year. Like, what a year, to win the draft lottery when you get Bedard is a generational player. That is a fact. Jeff Campbell in Winnipeg says, yes, the grudge is still there with McCown. LOL. Jennifer from the Four Seasons says, well, go Oilers. I hope my heart doesn't break tonight. Those poor Oilers fans, Darren. Who's more damaged? Oiler fans or Leaf fans? You tell me.
It's Leaf fans, but it's close now. It's getting really, really close. Oiler fans have a whole bunch of Stanley Cups. I know.
Yes.
And Vancouver's just, on fire over on the West Coast, unfortunately. And I love the Canucks, and I love their fans. I love that community, but
last minute of play.
Is catching
last
Toronto.
minute of play. Yes. Well, Vancouver's next level for baggage. Tacona Pally in Winnipeg says, in all caps, Rod, make an eye contact with Kuznetsov. LOL. It's a fact, man. That's the greatest thing about social media. All my stories now have proof and backup. I would go on the radio every day and tell these stories, and nobody would believe me. Now I've got actual photographic evidence that this happened. Evgeny Kuznetsov and I, namaste. Anything else, Moose?
No, just got to get the heart rate down before the game tonight. We'll be all right.
From Jeff, the Stamps fan, I thought you were an Oilers fan, Rod. Not today. See you tomorrow at noon Eastern, everybody, here on Game Plus. Who has more fun than us?
Spicy.